The HIPAA security rules are actually pretty darn similar to other requirements. You know, if you're told to lock your door under Gramm-Leach-Bliley and you're told to lock your door under HIPAA, you know, why have two separate requirements to lock your door? So what we did for the WISP, we kind of gathered up all the security requirements and put them in the WISP because there are quite a few laws that really overlap. And then we also have the privacy policies separate. Nick is always available. He's a wonderful resource. And if you have any questions, definitely call him and he'll get right back to you.
Oh. Sorry, let me just to recap sort of how the privacy and the security rules fit in. The privacy rule covers, it lays the foundation for the HIPAA privacy. It tells you what information is protected. It's your protected health information. We talked about it's information that you have the identifiers. If it's not de-identified, then it's protected. We talked about what entities are covered, what are governed by the privacy rule. You have your healthcare plans, providers, clearinghouses. And we talked about the uses and disclosures, both permitted, required, and authorized under the privacy rule. When you build in the security rule really tells you the hows. It's how we keep this information safe, whether electronically, whether on our information systems, whether physically in the offices. The two work side by side like that. Do we have time? Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Absolutely. Andy. Thank you, Elizabeth. I want to open it up to questions. Does anyone have any questions for anyone? Danielle?
I just had a question on slide 18. It made mention of personal representative. And I wasn't sure what the definition, if there's a definition of what a personal representative is or how we would know.
Sure, that gets into if you're contacted by, and it's slide request from spouses, slide 24. A personal representative could be the parent. It could be a legal representative, a legal guardian, if they have a power of attorney, if they're calling on behalf of an estate. There's different levels of what a personal representative could be. That's sort of the catch-all. Anyone who's not the individual is contacting you.
So how would you verify that over the phone if you receive a call?
So the question is, how would you verify who the personal representative is over the phone?
Right. You would typically have, when the individual signed up, they would have representatives on their form that you could contact that would be able to receive information. If not, you'd want to contact the individual directly and get their approval first. If it's an emergency situation, you can request. Identity verification. You request a copy of their identification, social security number, something else that can verify with the information you have on file. The person's mother is calling. If you can do your best. Again, an emergency situation, I would ask you to call Christine to work through it, but ordinarily you would contact the individual to get their approval. This person contacted us, maybe send their protected health information to them.
Does that get trickier when you're dealing with students?
It does, but again, the student records. Again, the student record is not under HIPAA. That's sort of a difference, and FERPA has its own language on when information can be sent to a parent. If a student would be a plan beneficiary, if they be.
You know, at the present time, we have no student PHI,
okay.
So, you know, that wouldn't be an issue.
But hypothetically, if the student were to call, then you would contact their guardian if they were a minor.
And the other thing that I would add in terms of requests that we may get from folks other than the employee, I think we all already have a practice in place whereby we don't disclose information about employees. You know, if someone calls and says, I'm so-and-so's spouse and I'd like to know who's enrolled in the plan, and we do that, you know, throughout the area. We do we do have the policy in place where we explain to people that we cannot provide information to anyone other than the employee.
Absolutely.
So I think that goes a long way to help us in that regard.
Absolutely.
And
Any other questions? No other questions? Okay, well, thank you all again. The last thing that I am going to ask you to do, along with the printouts of the presentations, there are 2 acknowledgement forms, one acknowledging your attendance at the WISP training, one for the HIPAA training, and then there's a confidentiality agreement. And I would ask that you please complete each of those for us. Thank you again.